I'll keep doubling, you keep bluffing. You've got nothing, I'll keep hustling.
Hello. How's everybody doing? My name is Rudo, known as the chart artist. We've got Fibonacci Lee. And today we actually want to talk to you guys about where to buy the bloody dip. So we've got Bitcoin that's been going sideways since forever. So with me, Fibonacci Lee, we're going to be looking at this sideways Bitcoin price action. And we're going to share a few things with you. How are you doing today, Lee?
I'm good. Friday. It's been
Friday. Feeling it. So Lee's got an interesting chart as well. I'm just snapping to that chart. I don't want to give away anything more, but there you can see he's got a simple Elliott wave count there and a few reasons of why he thinks Bitcoin can go where he thinks Bitcoin can go, which is a good thing. So before we get into this, I just want to say good hello to all our hardcore regulars. I see a few also relatively regular faces and so forth. So guys, I want to say thanks for each one of you guys for jumping in as well, and share your comments and your thoughts as we go through the stream, and we can have a look at it, as well as for those that are in live, any alt. I'll choose one that needs a little bit of a buy the dip charting to be done. Okay, so send that in and I will have a look at this. And so morning guys, and evening depending on where you tuning in. There's a lot of you guys tuning in today, so I reckon we kind of want to know where to buy the blooming dip. Okay, Lee, so this is Bitcoin 1 hour, and I've been chopping this thing the whole week, but I think before we go into anything of targets, it's worthwhile to just take a quick step back and just look at our weekly. And what I mean by the weekly, just to get context. Now, if I were to start this YouTube stream and I would have said that this is a 5-minute, immediately there's certain areas where everybody's eyes by now should start fall towards to think of where's the next buy opportunity. And that's why the video has this narrative of where to buy the dip. And that area should be somewhere over here. I mean, this is really vague and wide, but I mean, we can take it from there and we can say, well, 618, 38.2. But the reality is somewhere around that area, there needs to be a dip. Also, what we do see is when we look at this on a weekly time frame, is that if we're going to go this far, if this we go into this area for dip, it gives us an opportunity now to hunt for a swing short, and while we do that, to scalp long. So that if we're wrong with the swing short, that we can continue on holding the scalp, because we never know if prices want to continue on higher. But that's the idea. So it's three things. One, we want to buy the dip. The idea is to look for a buy the dip somewhere. Two, I want to swing short, because if I'm going to know that I'm waiting for a buy the dip, I want to make money while that happens. And three, I need to scalp long, because if I'm wrong, I don't want to be sitting on the side seeing how everybody else is making money. Okay, so with me, Fibonacci Lee's charts, let's quickly bring up your chart, buddy. What are we looking at on your buy the dip narrative there?
Well, for me, the current top is probably in, right? So I'm just looking at this price and see where it can retrace to possible scenarios. So during our last stream, we pointed out when we're gonna start shorting. There were a specific level I gave you guys. I'm gonna show it again a little bit later, where on a daily chart we are allowed to start to look for short. Long-term top, I'm still aiming for 48,000, right? Or according to that GAN rules that we shared last week. And so on a daily chart, if I'm looking for kind of a small retrace, which is, I mean, this is choppy. It is the fourth wave normally on this market. So I'm looking at flat, basically. If I put the top here, 1, 2, 3 wave down for A wave. Flat always start with 3 wave A B retrace up to 123, 138.2, exact target for flat. It can go to 1.5, it can go to 1618, but it cannot go above 1618. Okay, so for now,
find stop limit. So any short that you want to do, if you want to look at it from the big picture, what's your price for the invalidation?
26,000 here on Bitfinex. $26,024 basically as the invalidation for this flat. So what is a flat? A flat is just a stop hunt. If people are starting to shorting this stop, the flat is here, especially this extended flat, is to go for stop hunts, right? Smaller time frame. I mean, Bitcoin does it a lot of stop hunts on the top side here.
Crypto does it a lot. I don't think it's just Bitcoin now.
Crypto does it a lot, maybe. So if it is a flat, then where can this C leg go? I mean, one of the level of the flat can be it can be ended here at 23,443, which is a truncated flat here. I mean, this if you end up this correction at 23,443, this is really strong move. I mean, no one is gonna dare to buy Bitcoin, on spot or whatever after this full bullish move. No one is gonna have like a limit order to buy Bitcoin at 23.4, right? The next level will be 22,341. I would prefer, to be honest with you, to buy at that level here, 23,341. Why? Because, I mean, if you look at this candle, we have fair value gap within this 23,443 and 22,341. There's a gap here. If you look at this volume, what is that indicator called again?
The visible range volume. So it gathers the volume within the visible range of the candles on your screen.
Okay. So if you look at this volume, there is also a gap here in your chart at between 21.9, so 22K, and 22.5. Okay. And that is the exact level of this 22.3 of the Fibonacci level here. So I kind of like for the price to come back to this gap here and then buy. As you can see here, I've got the blue area marked, which is the 1618, and at that level here, there's a big gap between 1618 and 18,000. Okay, that will be really, really low. I don't think that Bitcoin is gonna give us a chance to go back to 18,000 to buy that dip. Okay, because at that stage, there's more probability of going right. And
not completely.
We're not yet.
Not 18. Well, what is that when there's a probability? I mean, you've got that rule: 4 can't go below a 1. So what is the price value for that invalidation if it goes?
Well, that is 1 is like 18.3. So 18.3. I mean, anything between 19, I would say anything between 19 and 22, that would be a good buy the dip area. Okay. But before we go to 19, there will be a lot of people buying at 22. There will be a lot of people buying at 20 and 19.4, 19.445. That will be really a sweet spot to buy. But usually Bitcoin is not so nice to give us a second opportunity. If you have missed the buy at the bottom here, they won't give you like a second opportunity to buy at 618 retrace after a move like this. So I'm expecting more, even 23.4 or 22.331. Okay, this kind of area. And after that, we'll resume another full leg to go to at least 28K or even higher. Maybe afterwards, we're going to have a bigger retrace.
Yeah, I want to actually add something onto this. As a question you brought up by Hans, CME gap on BTC. What do you think about it? So I'm just going to bring it up on the screen for you so you can have a look at it. So this is the CME gap on the weekly. It's pretty much going to be the same. What is the CME gap, guys? There's the big one that we tend to look at is on the weekends. Bitcoin keeps on trading, but the CME futures close up. So big money, the narrative is that big money is sitting there and saying, hey, we missed out. So what they will do is sell the shit out of this thing to bring price back into that gap so that big money can continue on buying discounts and then continue onwards. Also, if there's not enough buying interest around this area, let's not go that conspiracy, deepen the conspiracy down. I'll just say there's not enough people interested in buying. Price will look for liquidity, meaning for potential buyers, and everybody that missed out on this area here would be more keen to buy this, noting that those people that were late on buying the dip would potentially be taken out, so their stops would be sitting right in this area. So that's the idea behind the CME gap. So you've got the targets now, 21 and 19.5. Is there any confluence in your chart on those price points?
Yeah, 19.5 will be the 200% of that fib level here, 19.455. That is really a sweet spot to buy. I do believe that price is gonna come back down to this area, sooner or later. Whether it's gonna be on this retrace or, like I said, we can go up and then come back on a bigger flash sell.
Now, the trick that the scary part that where we're at now, Lee, and where we within the 5-wave impulse, because we know that if we're in an uptrend, it's going to be 5 waves to the upside, give or take, or not give or take, but in the Elliott wave context. So for anybody that now we're saying buying the dip, but what does this dip really mean? Can you just give us a little bigger overview of what's happening?
Well, Elliott wave, if I wanna target 48 based on this kind of rule, I would have already done this 1, 2 here, and then maybe a 3 at that stage here, 4, and like I said, 5. Okay.
Yeah.
This will be already my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse. Now, impulse wave doesn't necessarily mean that every time it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a bigger time frame.
Yeah,
it could be an A wave, B is a flat, and then C. Okay, ABC to the upside, correction wave to the upside, based on that bigger narrative where we are still in a bear market. So if that is a wave to go down, and this is only the correction A, B, C, that correction could take us to 48, but that is just the relief rally. And after that, we will have probably maybe after the halving or anything like this, another correction coming down. So I'm not saying that this rally is going to bring us to all-time high, but all I want to see for now is like 48 or even 53,000 by doing something like an ABC. ABC, where's my ABC? For now, I'm looking at A,
Yeah.
a B, and then maybe a C towards this 48.
And then we finish with another 5 waves to the downside.
And after that, we can even start another bear market, for a few months, and going back to this CME gap at that stage here at 19K. So that is also a possible scenario where we end up here at 22, we're going back up at 48, and then people are buying at 48, above 40, 48, and we can still correct and come back and fill those gaps to the way down.
Now, just to give you guys a bigger context on the halving, and I use this chart. Now, why I like this chart is, you just do this. I clicked on the wrong screen, just real quick. If we have a look at this is Bitcoin's price action, and it's on the logarithmic chart. Now, what I've done is the white vertical lines is each one of the halving events as they happened in the past. And because we know how many blocks gets captured on the blockchain, we can forward to, try and calculate when the next halving, when that next magical block count hits, which is roughly every 4 years, when it hits, and when the next halving event occurs, when the mathematical equation that releases Bitcoin halves the amount of Bitcoin that gets released per equation, and the equation gets twice as hard. So it is a big thing because it means that your cost of mining, think of it as mining gold, your cost of mining gold all of a sudden doubles because the cost of the gold, the value of the gold or the amount of gold you're getting halves in reality. So that thing normally spikes some momentum. But what we found is if we try and use a little bit of time on that. So what I have here is a simple time-based FIBs. If you go over to your FIB tools, you can actually get it, FIB time zones. And the idea is just to see how Fibonacci relates between the halving events. So what I've done here is I'm just going to get the settings on this one out. I'm not interested in any of these additional levels, where they can go and so forth. But all I'm trying to find is within between the halving events, how much time and how far within it do we bottom out? And if I look at this, this chart like that, round about the 618, the golden ratio of time between halvings, we tend to bottom out, have a bottom structure before we start rallying to the halving event and continue back on. Now, if I take this over and say, well, one occurrence of this doesn't create a trend, we need multiple times that this is happening. So if we go to halving 2 and 3, we do the same thing. You can see that what happens is, as we reach the 618 area, that's the time Bitcoin the bears get exhausted. It doesn't mean that the bottom is in or the bottom can't get tested, which this instance basically shows you. But what it does mean is that roughly between this, the absorption of the Bitcoin on the exchanges, everything that got mined, reaches its max potential. And from this point onwards, there will be a shortage, meaning the price for Bitcoin needs to go up. Now, if we take this information and I take that fib and I just bring it over again from the previous halving to where the next potential halving could be, you can see that we've just crossed that fib level again. So are we going to do something like this and rally up to 48, wherever come back down and then halve and go? Or are we going to grind sideways like the previous one and then halve and go? I mean, we don't know. Lee, you don't have anything that you can give this as a hard rule that you know what's going to happen next, isn't it?
No, unfortunately, I don't know what's going to happen next. But look at the chart. You can notice that every time the all-time high happens after the halving, not before the halving. If 69 is was it 69 or 60? Yeah, 69 was the all-time high for this this special 2022 2023 from that halving. Yeah, then you can expect the all-time high happening only into 2025 2026, I would say. So it makes sense for Bitcoin to consolidate within this area between 15 and 69K bigger time frame. Doesn't help us much on a smaller time frame.
I want to.
But saying that, we can, we haven't said nothing basically.
Yeah, we haven't said nothing. But I want to show you guys something. Just humor me again. It's just a trend. I still get shit for saying 240K Bitcoin top, but come on, I'm just showing you trends here. It doesn't mean that they can't or they won't play out or this can fail. But now let's use that same fib time. And this time I switch on the 38.2. I'll make the color maybe lime green. Okay. You can see now that from halving to halving, around the 38.2, we topped. Now let's do the same with the previous cycle. From halving to halving, I'm just putting that on. Just showing you this, just a little bit of time analysis. We topped. So by this definition, once this halving is in, we'll have an idea of potentially where the next halving could be. And we'll have an idea of potentially where we could top again. Maybe it's bullshit. It's really far out there, guys, but I want you guys to play with this because these type of larger time cycles tend to happen. And the reality is when we have the goodbye area, the spirit, the moment of the time is normally so bad that here it just makes sense to buy the dip. It just looks easy to buy these dips. You should just buy it. But normally everybody is so worked up and it's so negative that those dips and tops really get actioned on. That's why we range and we trade like this. So just keep this in mind. Have a little bit of context, a little bit of big picture something. Okay, Lee, back to you. It is 100%. No, it can't be 100% possible until
99%,
99.99999. Okay.
So right, yeah, then. Bitcoin. Let's wait and see. I mean, next week, March. I think it's gonna be like a retrace consolidation phase. But anyway, we are not trying to guess the bottom. Like here, we are not trying to guess the top. Even if we got an area to have the top in. And last week I said I want to look at the daily chart and I want to only start shorting below 23.4. Okay, so that was my Bitcoin chart. I don't know if I still have that line. So that was my zone where I said, you know what, I want to see Bitcoin closing below this level here, and we start only selling after we close below 23.4, because at that stage, the highest probability is that we're going to come back, test this range, and then maybe go down to fill this fair value gap, or even sweep those lows and going back to the next level as we saw. So until the price is above, what is my line here, at 23.4, 23.5, there's no reason for me to panic sell, guessing that the top is in. I mean, the price can still go up again and again. All right. So if this is really a bullish move, if we don't close below this level, then we have the possibility of going to the next fib level, which is 3618 at 26.7, and so on and so on. So every single step, we will have a level where we say, okay, if you lose that level, then we can start shorting. That's on daily chart. Basically, on 1 hour, on our 1 hour chart for our members, we already point out that this could be the potential top, and we should have been, shorting around this 24.8 area. Notice that this is perpetual contract on OKX, and on OKX we swept the highs already here. So like I explained to our members, there's a reason why this candle here come back, swept the highs, stop everyone that is short, me included. I was shorting, try to short this kind of level, and I had my stop here. OKX future contract come back, swept the highs, and for me, at that point, there's a reason why they made that effort to stop everybody that are shorting at that level here, and then start the retrace. Compared to this chart here, you can see that on the daily, this candle did not really make a higher high. I mean, the high for that one is 227, and here is 234. Right, this is a lower high compared to that one. On
maybe
OKX.
You just need to zoom in into those areas a little small.
You see the street top here. This is that is 25 to 27, and look here. When I hover it, the highest part is 24.234. Okay, so this candle is still higher than that one, but on OKX, you can see clearly here this candle made a higher high. So future, because of all those leveraged account, they went a little bit higher and then sweep those high.
Okay, one additional thing that you guys can use, and remember, I'm gonna bring up my screen now real quick, is when we look at Bitcoin in this entire big move, taking a position, buying a dip means there's risk, you can do some money, okay? But selling is just as hard, because why? Because you can lose out on more gains, especially if you're not in a winning trade, and that's what makes it so hard. Where we are now, and I posted this question: have you taken some profit on your spot bags? Now, me and Lee differ slightly on this. I mean, I've started getting out already, and some other guys have already started getting out as well. The reason for this is, simply put, I want to take profit into strength and rather not wait until it falls too hard before I start taking profit, because I want to buy. I don't know whether we're going to bounce 23, 38.2, 618 and continue onwards. I don't know. I want to try and take profit on the basis I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even have an idea. One last thing just to point out to you guys, why Lee is on the other end still correct as well. And I almost want to bring his, that red line that you had when you want to short. Can you zoom into that price action real quick?
Well, it's not a short area; it's a sell if it kind of closes below it. So for me, my spots is that line here. That line, if it goes below, I'm sure that we will have a bounce back to test those levels here, and at that time, I will start to short or hedge my spot position, basically.
Can you
or
zoom
sell
in
a little bit?
Yeah. There we go. So what is the price value on that line?
23.5.
23.5. Okay, so what I just want to point to is, if I look at that area from Lee, normally what we will have is any price action as price is continuing onwards. If there's going to be more, we will relatively stay above the 23.6. So looking at this entire price action, is why 22 for me is a hotspot buy, because it's a test of the 23.6. Doesn't mean that we can't do this or whatever the case might be, or go even lower. So for me, I am selling, but I'm taking note that, if we don't even touch this and turn and we start going on higher, at some stage, I'm going to have to buy back what I sold. That's it. That's all that I'm doing on the spot scenario. I'm not trying to trade and buy dips and tops. I'm just taking profit. And if I'm wrong and we continue on higher, I've got this whole area to get back in. It doesn't matter for me if I lose a little bit of coin. If it then decides to turn on me, then I'll get out, because as it goes higher, all I'll do is I'll just move my 23.6 as it goes. The one thing, though, is it gets bigger as time goes. So you need to be okay with losing more, before you find out whether the top is in. Okay. Fibonacci Lee, I'm going to bring back your screen. Anything else you want to quickly share with us? Then I want to dive into BTC's smaller time frame. And there's a few announcements we need to make.
Yeah. Before I wanna look at S&P 500 as well, and the reason why I am bearish for today, that is for today's trading, and this is also why I've showed you this OKX perpetual chart, because this is my crypto trading chart, and the reason why I'm using OKX is basically you should know if you're following us for a long time, but there is here at the bottom an API that is integrated with TradingView, and makes my trading really, really easy, right? Easy mode. We just have to connect our OKX account by doing that. And then I can trade straight from the chart by just clicking on that plus button here, and then buy stop, put a stop losses, create new orders, and so on and so on. And then OKX has right now, I received this notification yesterday, they have a promotion. Basically, open an account with OKX, connect your TradingView, pass the level 2 verification, and they give you $100 fee rebate card. So basically, you are trading for zero trading fees by doing that. And if you deposit some cash, you can earn up to $100 also for like a free bonus reward. And I think Rudo has done a really, really nice video already in the past in our channel, where this exchange reviews. So these are the reviews from OKX and what we think about OKX. And if you look at the third video, right, there is why is OKX better. And for me, one of the reasons why OKX is better than the other exchange is because simply we can trade out of TradingView, and I really like that feature.
Yeah, on this video, if you click on the timestamp that I've got here in the description, it will take you to this exact point where we show you how to set it up, what you need to do, how you need to flip between TradingView and OKX to have it all set up and working. So everything neatly explained within a minute or so. So go and check it out. Get your account connected. And then lastly as well, OKX link in the description. So you guys need to open an OKX account. Great. There we have it. Okay, Lee. Bringing back your screen, what else am we looking at? So you're bearish on the S&P. So is that going to bleed over into the weekend for you?
Well, S&P 500 contract is when it's the last trading day of the week. With Friday,
5 hours.
It's gonna end in maybe 5 hours already. The week goes so fast. So yeah. S&P 500 price action from yesterday, we were, ranging at the bottom here, sweep the highs, went back
just
to this.
Make it a little bit bigger, buddy.
So this is the hourly chart on S&P 500, and I'm using this E-mini contract for S&P 500 futures. That indicator, which has been shared. Have we shared this indicator? I believe so. Huh? Are we not? No, you didn't. We didn't make it. Yeah, you couldn't fix it. Basically, if you look at this candle, it was a red candle. So this is what we call, a power candle. Basically, almost a flat bottom here. And if you can look at this candle here, there's a fair value gap in the middle here. So yesterday on this 1 hour chart, we retraced back to this area, and boom, selling pressure came. That was the whole session from yesterday morning, okay, and come back. And in the evening, I said, if you're in the short, take profit here. So that was my take profit zone. And you can see there's another indicator here that we shared with the members, this algo buy and sell. And basically this told us that this was a buying area for this. another lower low buying area for this level here. So I said, you know what, take profit. It's enough for the day. And then boom, we retrace back. So if you miss that move, what did we do? We retrace back from the 618.786. We went even to 887 level here, a little bit above. And for this Asia and morning London session, pretty bearish on this price action here, as you can see. Okay, so what I'm expecting today for the New York session is basically maybe a little bit of bounce back. There's one power candle here again, a smaller one. So I would say between this level here, maybe goes above a little bit 40.12, 40.15, or this area to watch for another short continuation. And if that fib and take profit is playing out, I mean, 411, 424, we may probably come back to 411, test this 618 level again, or even the 786, or even this 421. So this kind of level here will be, for me, a nice opportunity to press short again and target. And the TP1 here will be 39.61 for today. Okay, so if today, next week, if that is the move that S&P have for us, then definitely bearish on crypto as well. And
Okay, so
if I go back down a little bit, I think 39.14 will be a nice area for this move to end.
So now let's talk bearish crypto quickly for over the weekend. While we're then on that, I'm going to bring up my screen. Right there. So this was that weekly fib, and I think all we need to do is just real quick mark that line. I just want you guys to mark the line, and then you can delete the fib so the screen is clean. So we've got this weekly trading range that's playing out. So if we're going to talk that bearish narrative, where's the upper end of our trading range? Well, we can be looking at it from this point of view, and that will be the bottom extent. So for anybody that's new to trading any lateral range, or any range for that matter, the trade strategy is so simple. You bearish at the top, you bullish at the bottom, and screw the rest. You don't want to worry about anything else. So if you look at it from that point of view, let me just snap that one there in nicely. Okay, this was the long that we traded yesterday and the day before, and the day before with the community in our Discord. And if you want to join, top right-hand side is the Discord QR code. Just scan it or go look for the link in the description. And this is the area where you TP when you trade lateral range, the midpoint, because price will revolve around the midpoint until this whole lateral range has resolved itself. Whoever needed to get out here is out, and the market is either so weakened by it falls back in, or there's literally nobody willing to buy anymore, which is kind of the problem we have. 24 is really major resistance at this stage. Nobody's really interested in buying it once it goes above 24. So that being said, so this is the week outlay for yourself. So over the weekend, these are the levels you need to just watch with Bitcoin. And you can go and do this on any alt. I'll quickly show you as well. So these are the levels to watch. Where do I want to look at this now? So from a short point of view, this was a nice area to short. I did short this with the community. I do have this. You remember our horrible PP account? There's the short. I need to look for it somewhere in here where I shorted the market down. There it is, from that target. And so we did short this with the community. I took profit around this target here, though, not all the way down, but that is the short. And now I want to still get another short in, with the idea is if we look at this, maybe just on a 4-hour time frame, I need some bearish divergence, which we haven't had just yet. So this is a really good pivot. The idea is the RSI is much high at this stage. So should we push up slightly? I'm looking for either a shakeout coming, the divergence like that, whatever the case might be, or just a fill of this gap, or the swing short to take us down to these areas. So that's just my gut for over the weekend, looking for that swing short. Now, a lot can happen. Bitcoin can decide to just screw me and dump straight down. And that is why we can trade this on even lower time frames. So how do we do that? Well, simply put, if we look at this as a lateral range from a lower time frame, what we can do is we can then snap these targets in there. We can snap those targets in, and we can put that in the upper end. And if the trade gets away from you, when we're below these levels, any test, you can use that level as a continuation for the short. So those would be different plays. If you want to trade them with us and with a little bit more assistance, just head over to the Discord. We'll be doing that, and I'll be keeping tabs on it. So while I've got the screen here, Lee, this PPE account of ours that was, yeah, it really didn't look good at one stage. And then we kind of just left it. And every time we touch it, we wanted to take one trade on it, that trade fails. So it's kind of like it became our jinxed account. If you want to quickly see how quickly you can get a stop hit, go and trade on the PPE account, and then it takes your stop. So what I've now done is I've basically had it with this thing, and I broke this thing's curse. I'm done with it now. So I'm going to trade it as if it's my own account. Now, there's not a lot of money in this thing. There's like $500 in here. So I want to try and get it to break even real quickly, so that I can fund this with some proper money. So at least the time and the money is worth the effort. For the week, we've made about 7%. So for those that are in it, there should be 7% back in your account. For those that are new to following it, you should be up about 6 or 7%. Depends on where you buy. So here's the trades. I just want to bring in something for you guys as well, which is important if we start looking at the 22nd. This is when I started. Okay, so what we have is when we have a stop being hit, and I only use 20% of what I would normally use, because I am in belief that this thing is jinxed. So I wanted to break its back with not breaking the balance. So I only traded this thing with 20% of what a normal stop size should be. So for this account, every time we stop out, instead of $2 or $3, it should have been about $15. But then the truth is the same for the gains. Every time we took gains, we should potentially have 5x those gains in any one of those instances. So realistically, we should have been up about 30% and not 6 or 7%. But that's it. That's week one. So I want you guys to go and just search for it, PPE, and keep tabs on it. You can actually click on it, and if you scroll down, you can see the trades as I take them as well. There's a 10-minute delay on when I close a trade, but everything is nicely indexed and records in there. If you want to open a Prime trade account and come trade with us as well, guys, just scan this QR code on the top right-hand side of the screen. It will pop up now. And then once you've done that, head over to our Discord and just fill in this form, and Prime will actually give you access to the premium trade group for entire month. There's just a minimum deposit, first-time deposit fee, but in here is all the instructions and everything we would need to give you TradingView access to those drawing indicators, and everything else that you would need to trade with us in the Discord. Okay, Lee, that's it. Anything else you want to quickly talk about chart-wise?
Chart-wise, that's it. I'm just, repeating that, for today, if it is the market's really bearish, 39.14, between 39.18, 39.10, this is the level that, I'm looking at. If I get a short for the ES mini future. Yeah.
Okay. We said we've got like a minute left, so I'm going to quickly do 2 alts, big time frame buys. Now, why big time frame buys? Because we've now given you guys literally a lot of reason to look at the bigger context of where Bitcoin is, where crypto is. And this is a good area if you're not a really hardened trader or not confident about trading, where you could buy with some spot. Also, what we're going to be doing shortly is being releasing a series of videos that shows you how to build your portfolio and so forth, and how to trade, how you should actually trade with your portfolio in mind. Just real quick. So I'm going to be looking at Doge real quick. And bigger time frame, guys. When we look at Doge, you can see Doge has got a knack of Elon tweeting, people reacting. Elon tweeting, people reacting. Elon tweeting, people reacting. Elon tweeted this week. What did he tweet? Who let the dogs out? Lee?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something like that. Who let the dogs out? And nothing happened to Doge. I couldn't believe it. So I mean, the Doge army jumped on that. Who let the dogs out? I mean, every bloody comment was a Dogecoin meme, and nothing happened. So it might just say that the crazy is away. So we're gonna have to just look at Doge from that.
I think the full narrative on crypto now is on Twitter now is this China, China coin or whatever,
Yeah, and the impact that
that's the
might
thing.
have. But okay, that's narratives. We use technical analysis. So let's just quickly have a look at Doge. And I just want to show something to you guys. From a GAN point of view, without trying to give you a full GAN lesson, this line is a very important line to note, the 1-to-1 line. That's why it's thicker on the screen. And normally what happens is if a trend is still intact, your price action will adhere to that trend angle. So now you know you're still good, okay? And when a price action, a trend wants to break, normally what happens is your 1, 2, 4, 4 to 2 trend line, one that takes you to that half level. Price will then bounce and stay above it. And when it loses that, that's kind of the key that day it's over. So looking at Doge and where Doge can go for the next high or the next level of price action, speculating where price can go before the halving and what Doge can do, So meaning if we look at this Bitcoin chart, this one over here, just to give you context, meaning whatever needs to happen there before we maybe go there. Okay. So if you're looking from that point of view, a good area to start buying some spot Doge would be this zone over here. So what do we have? We've got a lot of support that was left around this area, and it got bought up. So where was that support's initial resistance? That area was a resistance, okay? So whoever and whatever's happening around this area, this zone has got a lot of fight in it. So if I'm looking to buy and hold for a long area, this would be a really good area to start getting in some Doge between 83 and 77, 0.83 and 0.77 for a Doge, just to try and get in on it so that when we have that next run, we're good. Why do I like that zone? Well, simply put, if price starts trading, let me just get the right tool. If price starts trading below this range, we kind of have another support area where we could use to just get our asses out or reduce the risk. Okay, so what are we wrong? And price just does this. There's the potential bounce with a potential exit for myself. That's the whole thing. And with a narrative that I would be buying in this range. And that's it. And then most part, probably if that happens, then we move down. So it's important to have like a get me out of this bad, trade strategy when you look at something. The same thing if you look at Cardano. So I'm not going to do it with GAN or anything like that, but I'm just going to give you guys a bigger outlook for Cardano. So Cardano had a lot of support around these areas, broke through these areas, and subsequently turned that into resistance. So where's Cardano going to go to if we have a bit of a retrace? So I won't necessarily buy Cardano now anymore, because now what's going to happen now is if we have a retrace, we will go to our next area of where support would be. So I will wait on Cardano and I will use this, whatever negativity that we will have, if price moves to this area, to buy up to about 30. Because if we're wrong, I've got another support level right there that we can bounce towards to get my ass out of this. Noting that I'm going to buy this for a bigger time frame run, but I don't want to necessarily just throw money in something and Bitcoin does this, and then my money's gone. So you trade and you treat trades as if you don't know what can happen next. Don't think about anything we say and where it can go. Right. Okay, guys. So Lee, any last closing words for the weekend from you?
And enjoy the weekend.
Enjoy the weekend. Well, that's
enjoy the last few hours of the trading for this weekend, and enjoy the weekend.
There you have it, guys. See you guys in the Discord. I want to still trade as well until to about 8 or 9 tonight. So if I get that smaller time frame buy, I'll let you guys know in the Discord, and we can maybe have a look at it live. Otherwise, be safe over the weekend. High liquidity weekend, low liquidity weekend. Lee, what's your feeling on it?
I don't really trade on the weekend. I think it's got maybe a quiet, I don't think there would be a big flash on the market over the weekend.
So
Usually it's quiet. Yeah. I only start looking at the chart or try to get the trade on your Sunday evening, going towards Monday. But usually Saturday, Sunday, during the day, you don't have like a bigger move. It's not worth it to stay like 20 hours in front of a chart just for like 10 minutes more,
Yeah, that's true. We don't want to sit there. Go and enjoy your weekend. Go rest. Right, guys, I think that's that for the weekend. Thanks so much for joining in. Monday we'll be back and we'll start doing our YouTube videos more consistently. We skipped this Monday. I apologize for that. So tune in on Monday, and we're looking forward to tackling this run. I think it's about time. So cheers, everybody. Have a lovely weekend, and Lee, keep hustling.
Bye-bye.
Keep hustling.